Hello everyone, welcome back to Mythlok, your ultimate pit stop for the strange, the mythical, and the flat out bizarre. This is your host Nitten Nair, and today we are peeling out into one of the darkest corners of Soviet era urban legendary. No gods or monsters, we're diving into a story where the villain is a car. That's right, not a chariot of fire or a flying carpet, but a jet black limousine called the Black Volga. It's time to cue the ominous music in your imagination. So here's the setup. In the 1960s and 70s, the Soviet Union is in full swing. Everyone's trying not to make eye contact with the KGB. The Cold War is freezing over everything. And in the middle of this drab, grey existence, a shiny black Volga limousine begins showing up in stories across the USSR, Poland, Ukraine, and even Mongolia. But this isn't your average VIP car. No one knows who drives it. No one sees it refuel. And wherever it goes, children disappear. Sounds like the worst marketing campaign for a car ever. The car in question is often described as a GAZ-21 Volga, which was basically the Cadillac of Soviet cars. Sleek, shiny, powerful, and a status symbol for Communist Party big shots. But in the legend, it's dressed to kill. Jet black paint, tinted windows, white curtains in the back, chrome so polished you can see your frightened reflection. And in some versions, the car has horns instead of side mirrors and glowing red headlights, like it's auditioning for the next Fast and Furious movie, Infernal Edition. You've heard of Hell on Wheels? This was that, literally. Okay, let's talk incidents, because what's an urban legend without some terrifying anecdotes? Warsaw, 1968. Several school children reportedly went missing within days of each other. Eyewitnesses, mostly other kids, claimed to have seen a black Volga near schools before each disappearance. Local newspapers never officially mentioned the car, but the rumor mill? Oh, it was on fire. Police presence increased around schools and parents began escorting their kids everywhere. Sales of black Volgas? You can guess, tanked harder than a one-star Lada. Kiev, early 1970s. An older man named Alexei claimed he tried to wave down what he thought was a government vehicle for help during a snowy night. He described the driver as wearing a hat that looked off, like a priest's mitre or something ceremonial. The moment he touched the go handle, the car vanished. Poof! His hair turned white overnight. We don't know if it was from shock or a particularly aggressive bout of hair bleach, but he swore it happened. Uzbek SSR, 1974. A school janitor saw the car parked across the street, empty and idling, in the middle of the night. He went over to knock and see if someone needed help. The car started on its own, reversed into a dark alley, and simply disappeared. He quit the next day, moved to Siberia to herd goats, never saw a car again. Minsk, 1981. One of the rare stories where the car spoke. A woman claimed she was walking home from work when the Volga rolled up and a voice from inside asked, "Do you believe in death?" She didn't answer. She ran. But why would a car steal children? Good question, and oh boy do we have theories. Some say the KGB used the car to silence political dissenters. You see something you shouldn't, you get Volga'd. Poof. Others say it was driven by satanists collecting souls for blood rituals. You heard of mobile blood banks? This is the evil version. And then there's the organ harvesting theory. Yes, allegedly the car belonged to corrupt doctors or officials who abducted children to sell their organs to the rich elite. It's like the dark web, but Soviet, analog, and with much worse fashion. Now, the Black Volga legend didn't just vanish after the USSR dissolved. Oh no, it got fancier. In Eastern European horror films and TV, The Black Volga often shows up as a cursed vehicle, like a Slavic cousin of Stephen King's Christine. Except, instead of getting jealous and romantic, this car is just mean. No emotions, just doom. It even pops up in punk music and indie comics. It's a symbol of corruption, fear, and faceless power, the perfect metaphor for a government you can't trust and a society where things just disappear. One band even wrote a song about Black Volga dreams, where nightmares are chauffeured right to your doorstep. Who was behind the wheel? No one really knows. That's part of the fear. Some say priests, creepy ones, were often seen inside. Others insist that it was a nun with demon eyes. A few survivors say the driver had no face, just an outline in the shape of a person. And the wildest version? It was death itself behind the wheel, working a night shift. Alright, let's hit the brakes for a sec. If you're enjoying this twisted little trip through Soviet nightmares, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to Mythlok. We've got more ghosts, gods, and gasoline-soaked legends coming your way. The more you look into it, the more it starts to make sense why the Black Volga story stuck around. The Soviet era was a time where people were scared of everything. The government, the police, even their neighbors. Kids disappearing? Tragic, yes. But explainable? Not always. And in a place where you don't ask too many questions, a haunted car becomes the most acceptable explanation. People needed to blame something. And what better scapegoat than a ghost limo with tastefully sinister curtains? So let me ask you, if a black car pulled up beside you and offered a ride, would you get in just out of curiosity? Would you risk it all to find out who's behind the wheel? Or maybe the better question is, how many of these stories were real and how many were just clever cover-ups for something much darker? What if somewhere in the back roads of Eastern Europe, the Black Volga is still out there? Engine humming, tires cold, and trunk empty, waiting for you. That's it for today's episode, folks. If you're listening to this on a late night drive, maybe keep your eyes on the rearview mirror. This is your host, Nitten Nair, reminding you to stay curious and stay mythical.